Hey everyone, this is the fourth time that I've filmed this video. There's just been lots of technical difficulties with my video, which is really ironic because we're going to be talking about technical difficulties. Anyways, if you see differences in things like lighting, positioning, you'll know that's because I had to do this in several shots. But basically, let's just get into it. As of right now, what a time it has been. I hope that you are keeping yourself and your family safe, and whenever possible, just staying at home. Since the schooling system is changing and teachers are rapidly adapting to the online environment, I know that a lot of people out there have expressed concerns about their education slipping through the cracks. Moreover, VCE and just the general Victorian curriculum is still continuing on. No one's being held back a year, or at least, we don't want anyone to be held back a year, which means that assessments are still going ahead, and if you're in year 12, you're gonna get your ATAR at the end of the year. So because of this, at LSG, we've had to make a few important decisions, and one of those is that we've moved all of our private tutoring online starting next Monday. This is for the well-being of our students and their families, and also our tutors. And so I wanted to create this video for our students out there, and then I realized that this would be a really great video for anybody who is looking for online tutoring. Whether you're a parent with a child who has tutoring with another company that's about to go online, if you're a tutor who's just about to start maybe your first online session, then this video is for you. I hope to share with you some advice that I've learned over the years that I've tutored online, and I've tutored exclusively online since 2016. So I know the benefits that come with online tutoring, and I know what a great success it can have for students, and I've seen those success stories year after year. So I wholeheartedly believe it when I say that 2020 is a year where online tutoring can definitely live up to the coronavirus test. You're going to get your education, and you're gonna get it in quality. So let's talk about pros of online tutoring. I'll talk through some software with you so you can get familiar with the online tutoring environment. We're going to go through some cons and how to troubleshoot those, and how to deal with things like distractions at home. So what are the pros of online tutoring? Of course, the most obvious one is you get to be in the comfort and safety of your own home. That currently has a new ring to it, but it's true. I mean, you're not going out there, you're not exposing yourself to the coronavirus. But even if this is something that is past the coronavirus, which we will get past, there's just something really comfortable about being in your own space. And when you're more comfortable, you're generally more inclined to really open up your discussion with your true thoughts, because you're not being restricted by potentially, that person sitting next to you at the library listening to what you're saying. And I want to talk specifically about the subject of English as well. English is the prime candidate when it comes to online tutoring. English and any subject that involves a lot of conversational based discussion. Next is you save on travel time. So instead of going on public transport or having your parent drive you somewhere, it means that you both have this valuable extra time that you can use for something a bit more meaningful, whether that be studying for your SAC, or if that's spending time with family, or just relaxing, because it is important that you've got that downtime as well in your life. There's also minor things that people don't really think about, like how you generally have your textbooks at home, whereas if you're going out to meet a tutor, sometimes you forget things like your essay at home, which absolutely sucks, and I know many of my students have done this before. So it's just something that alleviates that entire problem. So let's take you through what an online session would look like. Before a session, you want to make sure that you have a Gmail account. Gmail is absolutely perfect for online tutoring because you have email access where you and your tutor can send emails to and forth to each other, but also you can upload documents that you can send to one another. The next thing is that you can use the amazing range of apps, including Google Docs. Before your session, you also want to send through to your tutor anything that you want them to look through with you. If you've handwritten an essay, which is absolutely fine, take a photo of it and send that through to your tutor. Your tutor will still be able to review it and make edits with you online. If it's your first time, you want to jump on at least 10 minutes early just to make sure that you get everything set up okay. For video and audio software, there are plenty for you to choose from, and it's really up to you what you prefer, or your tutor will recommend you a software. So don't worry, you're not in this all by yourself. My personal favorite, which I don't typically see many people using, but I personally really like, is called Whereby. I think it's called Whereby, or maybe it's called Whereby. The really great thing about Whereby is that your tutor can just send you a link and you can hop on without downloading any apps or without creating an account either. I find this one to be particularly accessible for students, or if you're a parent setting things up for your child, then this one is super easy. Otherwise, you've probably heard about Skype, Google Hangouts, Slack. These all offer video and audio options. They all have their little unique points. Make sure you just have a chat with your tutor and just experiment with the different softwares. So now we've got a snapshot of the video and audio software. Let's have a look at the apps you would use to actually be on the same page. My one go-to is Google Docs, and I've never really had to use anything else because Google Docs just never fails. It is an absolute godsend. When you're using Google Docs, the amazing thing is that you can both share the same document with each other, and when you land on the page, you can actually see each other's names as you type. So there's none of this, oh wait, which part are you looking at? Because you know exactly where the other person is at. When the tutor is reading something out loud, they can always highlight the text and you can follow through really easily. The amazing thing about Google Docs is that you've got suggestions as editing as well. So for the tutors, instead of just deleting all the work that you've done, they can just go ahead and click suggesting and type in their edits, and you'll be able to see their edits in a different color and still see your old written work. Now let's look at the cons of online tutoring. Of course, everyone has hesitations when it comes to online tutoring, and it's really something that I've felt from my own personal experience that once you try it for the first time, you realize that it's not quite as bad as you thought it would be. And majority of the students who I've seen who start on online tutoring actually want to continue online tutoring rather than go back to in-person, just because they have experienced those benefits that I just mentioned before. But of course, there are other things you need to consider, whether that be distractions at home, whether that be technical difficulties, or if it's a subject that doesn't lend itself as well as English subjects to online tutoring. But of course, again, there's software available out there to help you with this, especially in 2020. So long as you've got some tactics up your sleeve, which I'll teach you now, you should be okay. First one is when your visual doesn't work. You can either just shut down your computer or shut down the app and just restart it again to see. Sometimes you might need to go into your setting to allow the camera access to you, and that should fix up the problem. If it doesn't, you and your tutor can jump onto a different software, any of the ones that I mentioned previously. Otherwise, in the worst case scenario, you can always have two different softwares open at the same time. Skype and Google Hangouts both work at the same time. And let's just say if for some reason and you don't understand why Skype isn't connecting you to your camera, you could open Google Hangouts and maybe that will allow the camera option to be open. Audio. So when you can't hear, it's sort of the same deal. You want to switch on and off your app or your computer, change up your settings. Now when that all fails, my favorite one is just to give the other person a phone call. Phone calls are always working. They're, if anything, more crisp and clear than internet connection. So I actually personally just really like calling my students on these at the start of every lesson anyway, just to counteract any potential internet cutoffs later down the track. You know, your session might start off really well, but then halfway through, let's say your brother just decides to download a massive movie and your internet just becomes really slow. You've always got that phone call that's ongoing and it's not going to cut out on you. These are the main troubleshooting tips, and I think that if you've got these under your sleeve, you should have a pretty straightforward session. At Lisa Study Guides, we've been adapting to the current environment, and so right now we know that a lot of people are looking for extra support. So if you're someone who's interested in online tutoring with us, then you know that you can entrust us because our tutors have so much experience with online tutoring. Right now we're offering offering all new students a free How to Write a Killer Language Analysis ebook as well, which is what you guys are going to be studying in term 2. So it's perfect for this period of time. We want to make sure that your education doesn't slip through the cracks as all of these disruptions are happening right now. So if you're interested, I'll make sure to link our private tutoring up above for you. You can always give us a call. You'll be able to chat to Simone, who's our amazing manager. She'll be able to tell you everything you need to know about Lisa's Study Guides and what we do here, recommend you an amazing tutor, and get started with your first session. There are no contracts, so you can always see how you go. We always ask for your feedback after the first session so that we know what we can improve on and also what you enjoyed as well. We've had amazing feedback from parents and students, so I invite you just to reach out, especially if you're considering online tutoring as an option. I hope you guys are keeping healthy, and just know that LSG, we're doing everything we can right now to get out as many resources as we can to support our students. Thanks guys, bye!